Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? So, Freddie Roach says that Keith Thurman is better than ERROL Spence. Said he's just a better fighter, period. Point blank, period. Keith Thurman is a better fighter than ERROL Spence. And that fight was tougher than what this ERROL Spence fight is going to be for Manny Pacquiao. I respect Freddie Roach, legendary trainer, been in the game for a long time, accomplished some amazing things with Manny Pacquiao. I respect his boxing knowledge, and I respect everything that he's done in the sport of boxing and where he's brought Manny Pacquiao to. As far as him saying Keith Thurman is better than ERROL Spence, you can have your own opinion, but you're going to have to break that shit down for me. Now, when you look at Keith Thurman, and this is the mistake that a lot of people make when they're evaluating Errol the Truth Spence Jr. They look at him and you don't see a lot of flash. You don't see a lot of quick twitch movements and all of the fast foot movement and all of the theatrical shit. You don't see a lot of that with Errol the Truth Spence Jr. But what you see is an overall complete fighter that does all the little things right. And when you put everything together, you get a complete fighter and a very dominant fighter. When you look at Keith Thurman, you see the power. At least you did see it at one point. Keith Thurman ain't knocked nobody out in a long ass time. And it ain't like every fight he been up in his level of competition, because he did fight Josecito Lopez. He damn near got knocked out himself in that fight. I don't think he hurt Lopez once. He might have landed some good shots on Josecito, but at no point in that fight where we thought Josecito Lopez was going to be stopped or anything like that. Josecito Lopez damn near knocked Keith Thurman out a couple of times in that fight. So if ERROL Spence would have fought Lopez, he'd have knocked his ass out. He'd have stopped him. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, triangle theory don't work in boxing, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective. But ERROL Spence, his last knockout was his mandatory Carlos Ocampo. Matter of fact, no. It was because he fought Ocampo. Then yes, all right, so his last knockout was Carlos Ocampo, which was his mandatory as a first round knockout to the body. One punch knockout power, one shot to the body. Stopped him, first round. You dig what I'm saying? And then he fought Mikey Garcia. That was a step up in competition. Mikey Garcia, even though he was a smaller guy coming up in weight, he is a four division champion, and he was a top 5 pound for pound fighter, undefeated, had never been stopped before, never been hurt. You know what I'm saying? He's been hurt. He's shown that he could be hurt before. But like Mikey Garcia got a hell of a chin. Like, he ain't never just been in no real danger. And he's fought tip-top competition. Very decorated fighter. So, yeah, you could have said, man, he's smaller. He's coming up from 140. So you expect Errol to stop him looking at ERROL Spence's track record. But if you think about it realistically, it's not really a surprise that Errol didn't stop him, because it's fucking Mikey Garcia, who was like 39-0, and he's a 4 division champion, a top 5 pound for pound fighter. So you don't see top 5 pound for pound fighters getting knocked out every day. I don't care what division they fighting in, right? Then after that, he fights Sean Porter, unification match, another step up in competition, fighting top guys, the same guy that Keith Thurman fought. He never hurt Sean Porter, never knocked Sean Porter down. ERROL Spence actually knocked Sean Porter down. Then now he fought Danny Garcia, another top welterweight. You know, he dominated Danny Garcia better than he's ever been dominated in his career. Now he's about to fight Manny Pacquiao. Now, the reason I brought that up, compare and contrast, is because we're talking about the power. You look at Keith Thurman, he does have power, but look at his level of competition. He ain't been stopping nobody since he been fighting top guys. And he ain't really been hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? Did he hurt Danny Garcia? No. Did he hurt Sean Porter? No. Did he hurt Manny Pacquiao? I don't think so. So, is his power really all that? I ain't trying to take nothing away from him, but I think you could either say Errol Spence has more power or they even. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you look at the power. You look at the hand speed. Now, I will say that. The hand speed does stand out with Keith Thurman. You know, he throws better combinations. Well, I wouldn't even say better combinations. I think he throws faster combinations than Errol Spence. So it gives you that flash effect when you see it. You know, it looks a little bit more flashy. Then Keith Thurman, all his combinations is really haymakers. You know what I'm saying? He throw wide looping haymakers. He throw big left hooks and big overhand rights. And he can throw them bitches off the cuff. You know what I'm saying? He throw. Now that's one of the things that make Keith Thurman a very dangerous fighter is he can really exchange and he throw them big ass haymakers. He throw them bitches off the cuff. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, he does have pretty decent movement in the ring. He's a very intelligent fighter. So he has some intangibles. But there's really only a few things that you can look at Keith Thurman and say, all right, these are the things that stick out. And it's a couple of flash elements there that can make you, if to the untrained eye. And that's why it's a little surprising to me that Freddie Roach is doing this. And I know that there's an underlying reason why he's coming out and saying this shit, because I don't believe that I don't believe that he believes the shit that he's saying. You look at the couple of flash elements from Keith Thurman and to the untrained eye, which Freddie Roach, you have a trained eye, motherfucker. You are a trainer. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to know this type shit. And I know you do. You dig what I'm saying? So to the untrained eye, you see those couple of flash elements from Keith Thurman, and it might make you think like, damn, this dude, he might be better than Errol Spence. But then, like I said, you look at Errol Spence, you see a very accurate, stiff jab, strong jab that he can use in multiple ways. He can use it as a blinder. He's good going to the head and to the body with it. He can use it as a rangefinder. He'll use the jab. He'll use the jab to fucking control his opponent's head and line that bitch up exactly where he wanted, just like how he's done in many previous fights and like how he did when he knocked down Sean Porter. He'll line your motherfucking head up and come behind that bitch with either a left hook or a left uppercut. You know what I'm saying? He can use the jab in so many different ways. He's a fantastic body puncher, one of the best in the sport of boxing, probably the best body puncher when you're talking about overall body work in the sport of boxing. Great pressure fighter. He can fight. He one of the best fighters at controlling the distance and range, which is very important when you're trying to impose your style and your pace on a fighter, which is the #1 key to dominating a fight. By imposing your style and your pace and making the other guy do what you want them to do. Making the other guy fight at your pace. Make them fight your style of fight. That's the #1 key to dominating a fight. And Errol Spence does that better than most boxers. Again, I told y'all, Errol Spence is one of the very few complete fighters in the sport of boxing. He don't have one major thing that just stand out and make you say, oh, you know, he don't got the fastest hands. He got deceptive speed, which I believe works in his favor, because on the outside, it looked like his shit ain't fast. But when you get in the ring with him, he really put them bitches together. And if you ain't on your game, you ain't gonna really be able to get nothing major off like that, because he put them bitches together so well. You know what I'm saying? His punch placement, his accuracy, he has really good timing. He's not, I think Keith Thurman is a better counterpuncher, but I think Errol Spence is also a really good counterpuncher. The thing is that Errol Spence is 9 times out of 10, he's first. He don't really let you be first. And you seen versus Danny, even though he was first, he was coming forward. He was still coming forward and then allowing Danny Garcia at some points to throw shit, you know, and then he would come back with a counter. But 9 times out of 10, Errol Spence imposes his style on you, so he's first most of the time, which that don't normally put him in positions to counter. He's always first. And, you know, the ring generalship, just the overall IQ, he has really, really good power. He probably don't have the hardest hitting punching power at 147, but it's up there. And it's enough to make guys be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I get caught with this shit, it could be lights out. I gotta be careful. I gotta watch what the fuck going on. And then on top of that, he putting physical and mental pressure on you. Errol Spence is by far an overall better fighter than Keith Thurman. And this is why I picked Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman in the first place. I broke this shit down a long time ago when I told y'all that Manny Pacquiao was going to beat Keith Thurman. Now keep in mind, Terrence Crawford was undefeated champion. Keith Thurman, undefeated champion. Sean Porter, undefeated champion. No, he wasn't undefeated, but he was a champion. Errol Spence, undefeated champion. Out of all these guys, I told y'all, the best pick for Manny Pacquiao if he want to win is going to be Keith Thurman. I think Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, and Errol Spence all beat Manny Pacquiao. And Sean Porter, one of the reasons why I think he beat Manny Pacquiao is one of the same reasons why Errol Spence gonna beat him, is because of the rigorous pressure and the physicality that that Errol Spence is gonna impose on Manny Pacquiao. The same shit that Sean Porter would do to Manny Pacquiao. He gonna have to knock Sean Porter out because he ain't gonna win no decision. Sean Porter gonna be in his grill all night making him go back with some shit that Manny Pacquiao don't want to do, and he gonna make him work his ass off. And he's older now. In the late rounds, he gonna fade, and it's just gonna be too much. Now, think about that times 2 or 3 with the combinations, the power, the size, and the overall ability of Errol Spence. Think about what he gonna do. Now, styles do make fights. That's a fact. So maybe Freddie Roach, he thinks Keith Thurman has a more pleasing style aesthetically, but that don't make him a better fighter. And you gonna see on August 21st why Errol the True Spence Jr. is a better fighter than Keith Thurman. But again, I'm simply entertaining the idea just for the hell of it, because I know that Freddie Roach don't believe Keith Thurman is a better fighter than Errol Spence. What I think he really trying to do is come out, and it's gonna work against Manny Pacquiao, but I think he trying to come out here and make Errol Spence want to box more and be all pretty and shit and just, you know, fight him like how he did Mikey Garcia. Don't get touched, hit and not get hit and all that shit. You know, Errol gonna be smart either way it go. You know what I'm saying? But that shit ain't gonna work. Coming out here talking about Keith Thurman is better than Errol's, that shit gonna get Manny Pacquiao beat the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because Errol is gonna come out there and he gonna beat Errol Spence. He gonna beat Errol Spence. So it's just no way that you can tell me that Keith Thurman is a better fighter than Errol Spence Jr. Now I know they got to fight. Just for us to see between those two guys who the better fighter. But this is another way to gauge it, because you're going to have a common opponent in Manny Pacquiao, and you have his coach saying that this guy's better. Well, let's see how Manny Pacquiao stack up against Errol Spence. Now, just because Errol Spence go out there and whoop Manny Pacquiao ass, that don't mean necessarily he gonna whoop Keith Thurman. But I'm telling you, I've been telling you, I told you that Manny was gonna beat Keith, and I know for a fact that Errol Spence will whoop Keith Thurman ass. Even Keith Thurman know that deep down. You know what I'm saying? He know that shit. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How do y'all feel about Freddie Roach coming out here wilding, man, tweaking heavy, saying that Keith Thurman is better than Errol Spence Jr.? If you think Keith Thurman is better than Errol Spence, down in the comment, please tell me how. Tell me what makes Keith Thurman a better fighter than Errol Spence Jr. Is it the flash? Is it the power? Was it the long hair with the pink oil moisturizer glistening on the end of the ponytail? Let me know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Contender Regime Boxing, I'll holler at y'all boys, man.